when we're thinking about recovery from the gym specifically, I mentioned I have asynchronous splits. I don't have like Monday's not always legs, Tuesday's not always back, etc. It's like I sort of work on a 8 to 10-ish split, just based on in 8 days, I'm trying to get in 3 to 4 workouts. And then I will also structure or schedule in, I'll say, deloads as well, like days where I am reducing volume by like 50%, or I'm just not going to the gym at all, which is the one that I usually opt for, because psychologically it's very hard for me to just go and do 50%. So I'm like, all right, I just need 4 days off. I need a week off the gym. So talk a little bit about active recovery. One of the things I have found to be incredibly useful, particularly with leg day, is walking. So I feel like walking maybe is my favorite, active recovery. But I also have found, just in my own background and talking with other friends who are in, the mobility space, like just mobility work is so much more crucial for me in midlife, even as a practitioner who spent 19 years in private practice talking about mobility and the importance of mobility. I would skip it. Like I would, just putting myself, like I would skip it in lieu of other things. But now I find, as a woman in her, mid to late 40s, I'm like, okay, I have to do mobility work. Like my ankles are not, like, this ankle mobility is not going to fix itself.
Right.
So I'm right. So talk to us a little bit about what your views are maybe on active recovery days, what active recovery looks like, deloads, and then also your thoughts on mobility too.
Yeah, we have a joke here where we feel like we spend more time mobilizing than we do actually training. But it's neither here nor there. So when we're talking about active recovery, like I was saying earlier, when we're exercising, we're creating that stress. And part of that stress is the tear down of muscles, increasing inflammation, increasing oxidation, putting stress on the bone. So we need all of these things to recover. And as we were talking earlier, it takes a little bit longer because of things that are happening. So when we talk about active recovery, going for a walk, going for an easy aqua jog or an easy swim, anything that's going to create low amount of stress with increased blood flow to the muscle. Because if we're talking about blood flow to the muscle, that's our nutrient transporter. It's the way that we bring more nutrition to all of the working muscles and tendons and bones, and it's a way we can take away some of the waste product. So walking's great. You're getting some movement in and around all of the joints. You're getting more blood flow to the muscles and the tendons. We're looking at, being able to get through a range of motion that is easier than what you would find in a heavy squat. And so it really does facilitate more of a metabolic recovery, and this helps with all of our tissue repair as well as our ability to adapt. Because if we're increasing reparation, then we are increasing our ability to adapt to that training stress. And it tends to be something that people forget or like neglect, right? Because everyone's in this mindset of go, go, go. I got to go to the gym. It's in my schedule. And like you're talking about with deloads and having a change in your split, so your asynchronous, is really ideal when we're talking about the stress that the body is under when we are in perimenopause. Because if you're planning on doing heavy squats every Monday, your body most likely won't be able to do heavy squats every Monday, because we have central nervous system that we have to take care of, plus all the tissues that we have to take care of. So doing asynchronous is fantastic. If you are looking at training blocks, maybe you're talking about ankle mobility, and we see a lot of uptick in soft tissue injury and joint instability when we're seeing a change in our estrogen and progesterone. Two of the most common injuries are plantar fascia problems because of a change in the tendon and tendon responsiveness, but also a weakening of our calf muscles. And we see frozen shoulder as well, and it has to do with estrogen and its changing its tendon and fascia, ability to be responsive to stress. So this is where mobility comes into play. So mobility is super important, not just for increasing our range of motion, but to create enough stress within the joint capsules and against the tendons and ligaments to keep them able to be responsive to different stressors. So if we're thinking about pulling and opening up the joint capsule of the hip, then we're going to get more synovial fluid going in there. We're going to be able to keep more lubrication going, encouraging blood flow. And that way we keep our range of motion, which enables us to have a better movement technique when we're looking at being in the gym. Mobility is super important. And it's also a really good way to come back from an injury. So if you are looking at plantar fascia problems or tight ankles or torn meniscus or something to this effect, and your range of motion is compromised from those injuries, there's only so much a physio or physical therapist can do with regards to manipulation or giving you exercises. If you're using heavy resistance bands to get into a tighter or the end range of that motion, you're able to come back from that injury without as many biomechanical issues as you would have if you didn't use the mobility aspects.
Yeah, I love that. And I also think for women who are now, where we're seeing this big shift from cardio bunnies to muscle mommies, where they're like, okay, I'm going to, yes, it's like, yay, finally, we're moving into the weight section of the gym. If you don't want to get injured, which is a reasonable fear because you don't have that neuromusculoskeletal pattern, you don't have that motor learning, it is reasonable to assume that if you go too heavy, too fast without good technique, without full range of motion, as you're saying, that likelihood of getting injured is also higher. And as a perimenopausal woman, like you can, not that injuries always suck, they always suck. But if you are 20, you are going to bounce back much faster than if you are 40 or if you are 50. And you just really can't afford the degradation that happens while you're off in midlife.
Right, exactly. I mean, I have an injury that I've been trying to come back from since February. It's very frustrating because, 10 years ago would have been a non-issue, but now it's like, okay, now I have to really look at how am I loading, how am I maintaining muscle, how am I also rehabbing, and it's much better not to become injured.
Yeah. I love that you're saying that. And thank you for sharing that, because psychologically, when you get injured, you're like, I'll be back in like a couple days. Right?
Yeah.
Like 8 months later, it's like my AC joint still not where it should be, or whatever
not
joint,
working.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Not working.